I'm gonna tell you a story about the time my roommate or apartment mate stole my money and ran away with it. It's a very funny story, so let's just jump right into it. So let's start from the beginning. Oh my god, just thinking about this time of my life makes me wanna cry so much. It's so bad. So I believe I was like 17 or something like that, and I decided to move out. So I rented an apartment, and at first I only rented it for me and my boyfriend at the time, but shortly after we moved there we broke up, so sad story. So I had no job, so I decided to get a job. It was a horrible job. I was a waitress at this cafe, and it was I was the only one working there at this cafe. I worked there from Monday to Sunday. It was horrible. I had no days off, and I was there like all the time because I was the only one. I was the only waitress there. There was no bartender or anything. I was the only one who was working there, so I was making all the money. So after I broke up with my boyfriend, I was really into this other guy, and he told me that he has this friend, and this friend of his needs a place to stay at, and since I live on my own, why don't I bring him like to stay with me and he could pay rent. So I was like, okay, sure, that's perfect. So this guy just comes over, everything is fine, we get along, he's a nice guy. He says that he's a Baptist, he's like very religious and things, but he has tattoos and piercings, so that's a bit weird, but whatever. So yeah, he sleeps on the couch and I sleep in the bedroom, and everything is fine. He doesn't like hit on me or anything. He's a really nice guy. After, I believe, like 2 or 3 weeks we have been living together, I had to go to Tenerife with my parents, with my mother and father. And I let this guy in my apartment. I let him take care of my cat, and like everything is fine. After I come back, everything is perfect. Like my TV was still there, all my jewelry was there, like my money, like everything was on point. And he even cleaned the apartment, so that was whoa. And we started like to become best friends in a very, very short time. So I was really into our friendship, so I gave him my Facebook password and he gave me his Facebook password. So like, I don't know, like I think I was like, oh, talk to this guy for me, and he was like, okay, but you talk to this girl for me, and I was like, okay, sure, I don't mind it. This guy's name was Danny, and after, I believe, a few more weeks after we have been living together, another old friend of mine calls me and he's like, well, I'm on the streets, I just left my parents' home, like what do? I have all these bags. And I was like, okay, well, you come over right now and you could just stay here until things settle or anything. I don't know, you find something stable. And he was like, okay, I'm coming. So he comes over, Patrick, and that was his name. So the three of us begin to like be best friends and things, like everything is so good because like Patrick was gay and then Daddy was like a virgin or anything, I don't know. So like, even though I was living with 2 boys, things were fine because one of them was gay and the other one was like a virgin because he was like Baptist, whatever, he was religious. So things are so nice and everything is like perfect. It's like I have 2 apartment mates and they are like the best. They are like a blessing because they clean, they are so nice to me, and I'm pretty much the only one who's paying rent right now, because one of them just got a job at Starbucks and the other one was like, he was like that, like he just got a job and so they had to wait for the paycheck. So things were fine until Danny decided, the tattooed guy, decided to go to a boot camp or something like that. I don't know. It was like a training or something for his job, and he was like, well, I'm coming back like on a Sunday. He told me that he's coming back on a Wednesday. And I was like, okay. And I remember him on that day, he was hugging me and he told me how nice I was to him and that I'm a blessing and God bless me and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, stop it, because you're coming back in like 4 days. What the hell? So he asks me if I could borrow him like one of my bags. I had this Tommy Hilfiger bag and it was like a gym bag. And it was expensive. It was very expensive. So I was like, okay, well, you're coming back, so whatever, why not? I will give it to you. And then he asks me if I could borrow, like, if he could borrow more things, like for my ex-boyfriend that were there, like perfume or like some jeans and some shirts. And I was like, well, my ex won't use them, so, because he isn't coming back. We broke up for good. And I said, okay, sure, just take them. But they were like expensive things. It was like a Burberry shirt and like Zara jeans and shoes. Because I don't know how they had like the same foot size, whatever. So at this point, I was already kind of seeing a guy, and we went on a few dates and things were fine. So I just told him about my apartment mates and about Patrick and about Danny and all of the things that are happening, and it was like drama. And I really love drama, I gotta be honest now. Yeah, like things were very good between us. Like I really liked him, he really liked me, and he was like coming over almost every night. And I was kind of thankful that in this time like Danny went, because his feet smelled so bad. Like I don't know what happened, but like his feet just smelled bad. Like if I had guests over and he would like take his shoes off, it would be horrible. It would smell so fucking bad. It was horrible. So yeah, I was kind of like thankful that Danny went on this like thing. And this guy that was coming over at my place, he didn't like smell Danny's feet, because that would have been like just embarrassing. So yeah, that happened. And Wednesday rolls by and I keep texting Danny like, hey, what time are you coming? Like, what's happening? And he just doesn't respond to my texts. So I start calling him. Like, he doesn't respond to my calls either. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, did something happen? So I started to be like a bit concerned about what's happening to him, because I have no idea where he is. So yeah, I keep doing this the next day, and then on Friday I'm like, well, wait a second. He said he will be here like Wednesday and it's Friday now, so what's happening? So I just log into his Facebook account and I started looking at conversations, because he wasn't answering my texts, but he was like online. So I looked through those conversations and there is this conversation with the girl, and he sends this picture of like his location. I don't know, I believe it was a screenshot or something. And this guy was in London. Mind you, we live in Romania. Like, he is in England. And then I'm like, well, this boot camp is very far away, you know? And then something clicks in my head. And I went there where I knew that all my gold was. And I opened my jewelry box and it's like empty. There are like 2 more rings, which are like silver, which he didn't take. But all my gold was gone. And then I opened a drawer where I had like some money for the rent. And it was like about 200 euros or something like that, because the rent was like 300 euros. So no money there either. And then I'm like calling my other roommate, like Patrick. I'm like, hey, are you pranking me or anything? Like, what happened to the money? Like, what happened to my gold, my jewelry? Like, where is it? And he goes like, I don't know, I'm at work now, I really can't talk, but like, I don't know, call Danny or something. And I'm like, okay. And then I start to look for more things in the house, and not like, all my expensive things weren't there. Like, I had bags, designer bags that weren't there, and I also had like some perfumes that were like a bit more expensive that weren't there. And then I just started drinking. I remember starting drinking and calling all my friends that knew Danny, and I was like, how could he do this? And then I talked to his friends and told everyone what he did. I remember like wanting to call his parents and to tell them what their son is doing, because he's like religious, and their parents, I know they're very strict and things. So he stole my money. He stole all my jewelry and gold, and he also stole like my Tommy Hilfiger bag, which I loved so much, but I got a new one now, so I'm kind of over that. So this happened in 2017, and now it's 2018, almost 2019, so it has been a long time. But yeah, that was the story of how my roommate stole my money and ran away to England with everything that I owned. I hope you enjoyed this story, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want more stories, just, I don't know, comment something down below and I will respond to your comments, because I have like 3 subscribers. So yeah, if you want to be subscribed, I'm here. It's free. You could just click the red button down below and push the notifications button, and I will be very happy if you would do that. Thank you so much for watching up until the end, and I am hugging you. I'm sending you a virtual hug.